Then you shouldn't have said it.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for another edition of Your Impact Attack. Yes, it is Your Impact Attack on channelattitude.com. And I am your one third of the BVC here at the HMG, Colin White Song. And I am joined by your one time Elden Ring defeating champion, the vet, ladies and gentlemen. Vet. He's
Hello.
a Rip Rogers guy.
Hi there.
Whoa. That was very rude.
That's it.
Well, how are you this evening? You're like clearly watching something else. You're
Well,
clearly
I thought
distracted this evening,
I
vet.
thought we were introducing everybody, so I was like waiting.
Well, I give you the we do a little banter here, and then we give the people what they want, which he's not quite giving them what they want, vet, because he cleaned the camera. We can clearly see him now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's the third man in the booth. He's the cream in our VBC sandwich. You know, the V's one part of the cookie, the C's the other cookie, and he's the B. He's in the middle. He's the cream. Give your balls a tug, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, fucker.
Yep, see, banter. Even Liz understands what we do here. No coupons for free pizza. I am eating non-Mexican street corn, spaghetti, and chicken, all cooked by the fiance. It's very delicious. Buckshot Kid's already at it. Letting us know what's going to happen in the future on Impact Wrestling here.
That's weird. That's Canada Spaceman's gimmick.
It's usually, yeah. Well, don't steal gimmicks, Buckshot Kid. Canada Spaceman, he's stealing your gimmick. Who's also in the chat. Apparently, the greatest main event on Raw ever happened tonight. I know this is an Impact Wrestling show, but apparently Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley squirted each other with baby oil.
Perhaps
and then Michael
reminiscent
Nakazawa
of the,
showed up.
Yeah, exactly. Perhaps reminiscent of the muscular montage superposed down between Rick Rude and the Ultimate Warrior at Royal Rumble '89.
At least Bobby Lashley didn't like turn around and slap his ass.
The push-up contest between Triple H and Scott Steiner.
Ooh, that's a good one. Is that how that pec tore?
He's fat!
Man. Yeah, well.
Sounds like it.
That's good wrestling news. What about anybody get arrested for any DUIs lately?
Yes,
Usos
actually.
again?
Breaking news. Jeff Hardy arrested with like 3 times the blood alcohol level that one should have. I think it was like a 2.24.
You should be in a coma, bud.
And he was by himself.
Just a little drinky poo, Randers.
Right? Like how is one? How are you at the club and nobody's willing to drive you home? 2, how is no one watching him and keeping an eye on this man so that he doesn't drive? 3, Tammy Sitch. That should be example enough.
4,
and
how do you not have an Uber?
Yeah, and 4, Tony Khan's gonna fire this guy.
No, he won't. He'll just let his contract expire.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he's just gonna put him on the shelf.
Well, I mean, I don't want to pile on, but everybody knows what I've said about Jeff Hardy for years. In fact, there's a video on my YouTube channel, if you haven't seen it. It's called Why the Struggle Is Not Real for Jeff Hardy, where I cut a promo on him listing all of his documented crimes, basically because he had the audacity on SmackDown to say the struggle is real. You know, like that set me off. And I know that he was maybe he was told to say that even by somebody. Some writer handed him that and he just said it. So it wasn't even his idea, but it didn't matter. I thought he deserved to get fucking roasted for that. And that was years ago when he was still at the WWE. So now, I mean, what can I say at this point?
Vet, are you holding a grudge? Did he big league you when you were one of the Undertaker's druids? You're just like holding this grudge all those years. Like,
No,
man, fucking Jeff Hardy. Matt's
no. You probably won't hear any stories of him like that because that's not the problem.
Yeah.
He's a universally loved, nice guy, which is why everybody keeps covering for him and looking the other way when this shit happens. I guess it's the only thing I can think of.
Matt needs to get him back on the compound and just do the universe stuff. Let him be Itchweed. We need Itchweed back. I want Itchweed back. Hashtag we need Itchweed.
I don't know if we need anything like that because he's even less entertaining as a non-falling off of something guy than a falling off of something guy. But yeah, and
yeah, but when
besides
he's
all,
Itchweed, he's like a topiarist. Is that what they call him? Like he cuts designs into shrubbery.
he's Edward Scissorhands.
Yes. But with the crazy ski mask thingy, he has like this crazy ski like jester hat thingy that you wear in SSX Tricky.
I don't know. I don't trust him with any sort of sharp pruning tools or anything like that. That's
Give
the
him
thing.
10 cervezas. He'll be good.
I wouldn't trust him with those kind of things if he's sober. He can barely move. So that's why I'm surprised he can even drive a car. I feel like just the 10 and 2 moving the steering wheel would be too much for his shoulders and back and stuff. And I don't know why he's not chauffeured everywhere he goes.
This is terrible. We're gonna play a quick game of Fact or Fiction.
Oh boy.
Frank Picklebarrel's ass is in the chat. Welcome, Frank. Fact or Fiction, the hottest game show on Vince Russo's The Brand. We love to steal it over here. Vet, fact or fiction, Jeff Hardy would beat Jimmy Uso in a drunk driver race. Fact or fiction?
Fiction, because they the ones. So
Bloodline overcomes
blood alcohol level. Yeah, it's like something. They should maybe change their name.
The blood alcohol level, the BAC, son. Brandon, fact or fiction?
I'm going to go fact simply for the fact that this latest one, Jeff Hardy blew a BAC that would make Jim Leahy go like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, bud?"
That's correct.
And
I'm gonna also
have
to say fact as well. Jeff Hardy's a Southern boy. Driving's in his nature. NASCAR was created in North Carolina. Come on, guys. We know better than this. They've been drunk driving. NASCAR was created because they were hauling booze in the back of the car, probably while they were drinking it in the front of the car. So just remember that. Thank you, Moonshiners, for NASCAR. That's a fun game, and that's the end of Fact or Fiction.
All right.
Sorry, guys, it's not as exciting as What Floor is Mario on, the hottest game show that we play over the Ridiculously Random podcast. Vet, you got anything else? Did you see any ladies get knocked out this weekend?
No, I didn't. What happened in the Shevchenko fight?
She got her butt kicked.
Whoa.
And probably shouldn't have won that fight. And pulled it out. I know she won the 4th and the 5th round. But the fight I'm talking about in general is, hang on, let me see if I can come.
Does she do a dance when she wins by decision?
Yes. I think she does.
Maybe a slightly half-hearted dance. Like a little.
I found a really
shuffle.
Good, video of this one. Oh yeah, this one right here. This is a good camera angle of her getting knocked out, so you can see this. Just hear it, like. And she just dies. And Joanna,
that back fist?
Yeah, that back fist just cracked her. Like you can watch it in real time, like from the actual like shoot angle. You see her like look and like load up and just spin and just smack the shit out of her in the face. It was beautiful.
Got knocked the fuck out, man.
And we've got a new champion in the light heavyweight division as Yuri Prokryats taps Glover Teixeira with very little time left in the fifth round. He didn't even have position bet. He didn't even have his back. They always say position before submission when you're training on those mats in the gym. And he just latched onto that neck and didn't even have it on and just like choked him the hell out. It was beautiful.
Weird.
Dang. Come on, Frank. Girl fights. It was exciting. Those two, look, the last time those girls fought, the Chinese girl made the girl that she knocked out look like Quark from Deep Space Nine. Like she had hematomas like all over her forehead where she just was like bulbous. Looked like Quark at the end of the fight. You know that, Vet. You've seen that picture of her.
Yeah. Well, Frank has moved into his position as full-time heckler now, so whatever
Emmy
gets said,
Award winning.
Yeah, Hammy Award winning. That it really got to his head, Now he comes in and just shits on everything. So
hey, at least he's up late.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, I'm not saying I don't appreciate it. I'm just letting you know what the tone is going to be going forward.
So we'll see. Jay Hall and Sonic the Hedgehog will probably meander their ways in here a little bit later. Who else are we missing? You know what, Vet? I think it's the perfect time to acknowledge the chat.
Sitting at home. Acknowledge me.
We are acknowledging you. Calm down, ladies and gentlemen. Calm down. So, we got 6 people. Vet, I am not on YouTube. I believe you might be. But from the start, we've got Buckshot Kid, who says here, "I'm here." Thank you. That was the very first comment. Lizbeth in the chat, the lovely Lizbeth. Hey guys. Canada Spaceman. He's also in the chat. What is Canada Spaceman smoking tonight? Brandon.
Whew, man. That's a tough question. There's a lot of good ones out there today. There's one I'm on called Sour Rebel, which has been kind of nice.
Ooh. Okay, scrolling down. I found one. I got like a thing in my throat, so I don't know how well this is going to go over. But we're going to try it anyways. Javi Uchiha. And then just imagine the fade in of the It's Always Sunny music. I'm sure it was already all in your heads after we do that, because me and Ray have you programmed now. It's delicious. And then Frank's Pickle Barrel asks, as I said, a Hammy Award winning. Now, Vet, I know New Japan's on, or One Piece. One of those two things are on. We can see it flickering in your face. Can you see anybody else who's in the chat that we didn't acknowledge?
Not really. And you got the list of participants. Some of those people are not showing up. Like, I know that there's no way that Buckshot Kid is not here right now, but he's not sitting in the participants list. So that's Google's problem, and they really should sort that out with all their money, But yeah, I think you covered everyone that has showed up so far.
I don't know if you noticed. I didn't say like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, because apparently, like, I've been watching YouTube videos lately, and everybody's they've been saying something about the notification bells. Look, he's also on Twitch. He's lurking everywhere. Buckshot Kid is everywhere.
Right. That's a given.
Is
Alexa here?
I don't know. Alexa might. That's another one that we're missing. Alexa, yeah, all the way from Germany. She's sleeping. Actually, it'd be morning over there, so she's sleeping in. There's like a bill that's being passed. It's going to change how, I guess, YouTube can notify you and I haven't heard anything, but I've just been hearing YouTubers talk about it.
That's the bills they're passing these days.
Yeah, they're not doing anything helpful as the economy crashes around us, as the SPY drops like 3% today. It's just nasty. Redbox just shoots up to almost $18 today. That was beautiful. But we're not here to talk about stonks, because the vet would shoot himself in the face. We're here to talk about them boys and Moose and Impact Wrestling. Yeah. Wham balam bam bam. There, Brandon. Let's do it. Let's talk about it. Now, I had a long night at work, so I am going to be sitting this one out. I'm going to eat my pasta while you guys look. I tried to listen to it in the car, and my phone died, and I didn't have my charger in the car, so I had to listen to the game. I listened to Golden State as they trounced the Celtics. Caught the end of that game. It was fun. Draymond Green fouled out. Golden State wins. They're gonna win again. They're such a dynasty. Such a fucking good ass team. God, Steph Curry.
They're so good. They were nice enough to let other people win some of these
Andrew
years.
Wiggins. The refs helped LeBron win. Just like you say, fighting's fake. The NBA is fake too.
Oh, I know that they had one of their refs write a book about it, and people still don't really talk about it like it's.
They rigged that for LeBron because they knew he was never gonna beat Golden State. I hate LeBron. Do your Impact.
Okay, fine. Well, we start off our show.
This be considered considered the nice edition since it's June 9th, 6/9.
Yes, this is the nice.
Oh, we're getting a BTI rundown. Canada Spaceman as Swinger and Zicky Dice versus Decay as Decay picks one up on BTI because they were absent in our first match. They didn't come out with old Rosemary here. See, I told you I caught the first little bit of the show, Vet.
Well, this wouldn't. This definitely would not get any traction on the actual show. They did not feel the need to recap this. But what they do recap at the beginning is Sami Callihan batting Moose. Sami hacks into the taped broadcast and tells us, whatever he says, some bullshit. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. It's Sami Callihan. Basically what he's going to say. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Sooner or later, Hameen's going to have that ability because we've got Jargo in the Master Control unit. We got Schaffer now, who's out in the field. Congratulations to MSG, who's doing the photo, the camera guy. He's driving the news van around, filming everything. He's fucking kicking ass. So like, Hameen's gonna have guys on the ground, like he does everywhere anyways. Like he has wives on the ground. Now, and he's gonna take control of your TV one day, and you're just gonna see like this face. He's gonna be like,
I'm waiting for it. I'll just keep waiting for it. So yeah, we're going to kick off our show with a hot match. Tennille Dashwood versus Rosemary. It was a match. They wrestled each other for a while using professional wrestling moves. And Rosemary, I think Rosemary won, didn't she?
yeah.
Yes.
And then she proceeded to get beat down.
Right. So then Taya comes down to help. And then they fight everybody off, and then they do the whole back into each other slowly and turn around into a stare down, which couldn't have come off as any more staged. But,
They used to be BFFs.
I mean, did they? Don't recall. But what I do know is that this looked staged. So I don't know.
It is scripted.
That's the start. What do you think, Brandon? Was this how was this match?
I liked it up until like the whole back up into each other. It looked so hokey and set up. Just go with it naturally, and you bump into each other naturally, and just go from there. I mean, there's the history there. You know your characters, you know your gimmicks. Just let it go naturally. Just let it grow organically. As far as the match goes, I liked it. I thought they worked it pretty well. and they let the stuff breathe and register. I thought it went a little bit long. I think I should have taken it home after the first double down. And I liked how the finish was like, it was done in a way where it didn't really bury anybody. Like she had that quick window of that quick pin, and then both influences right on top of her, beating her down.
I agree with that.
Brennan.
I mean, I didn't have any notes that was tearing it apart, so it couldn't have been that bad. So yeah, but
seems like they made a point to kind of make it a feature here at the top of the show, to have like the interruption and Taya and her, because they made a point to talk about it during the match as how Havoc was absent and she was out there by herself. Like they kind of set that storyline up on commentary. Brandon, in lieu of and since your name is what your name is tonight, I think we're gonna have a rating system. I want you to give us 1 to 10 tugs on how well you enjoyed the match. You're gonna get like your own Meltzer star rating here. How many tugs did you tug on your balls in this match?
I think I rate about 7 tugs there.
Ooh, okay, that's look. Vet didn't have that many things on his sheet, so I could see 7 tugs being a good score for this match, because that's not saying anything bad about what's going on here.
no. All right, but that might change here, because next we get the Good Brothers paying a visit to Sandy Fork and the chicken farm with music underneath. And,
Let's make it count.
yeah, they did not.
It don't count.
It don't. This
It don't count.
This turned into a phony wrestling brawl. Essentially, what happened here? They turned it into a cartoon. They have an opportunity to be on location at what I presume is the real farm in Delaware, because I don't know why they would just get a completely other chicken farm that's just sitting out in the middle of nowhere to shoot this at. But yeah, as you can imagine, there was a montage of the Good Brothers working on the farm, or at least making fun of working on the farm. And then they come across the Briscoes' dad, and then the Briscoes show up and try to... What the hell was Mark swinging at them when he drove by in the truck?
I think that's called a scimitar. Talking about the blade.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Pressure?
Yeah, well,
How curved was the blade? Was it like super curved, like a scythe, almost like a thresher?
no, it wasn't that. I don't know what it was. I've never seen anything like it before.
Oh my gosh, Vet, I can't believe it. It's back for a second time this evening. It just came out of nowhere. Fact or fiction, ladies and gentlemen. Fact or fiction. Deanna Purrazzo and Mickie James put on a much better staged farm brawl than Good Brothers and them boys. Ooh. Fact or fiction?
Sadly, fact.
It was pretty hot, I have to say.
Yeah, besides that.
I would have tugged my balls
Right.
to that.
Yeah, even taking the sexuality out of the equation, still better.
Yes, Blue Payola. Poo Poo Pee Pee was that segment that we had, unfortunately. Usually them boys carry us through, but definitely Poo Poo Pee Pee for that segment. Brandon, fact or fiction?
Let's make it count.
Oh, wow, that is not. We're making it count.
I'm gonna say fact. It was they did more that made it look more like an actual fight, whereas this was kind of goofy.
Well, as we know, the Good Brothers are the king of the goofy match. I mean, WWE had them in the Christmas brawls and the Halloween brawls pretty much every year that they were a part of. Luke Gallows is bobbing for apples in that one. He goes down and comes up with the apple in his mouth. They talked about that on a episode of Talking Shop. They were drunk in a hotel. All right. Well, back to your regularly scheduled Impact Attack.
Yeah. So obviously, not a fan. I'm even less of a fan of things like this when it's got people I am a fan of in it. Because it just makes me wish that they could have used some of their creative input to make it less stupid. If you watch Ring of Honor and you saw or even if you don't watch Ring of Honor, but you saw this because you heard about it, the fight between the Briscoe brothers on a farm or whatever it was, they actually did something like this already. That was, where it was like the dad sitting there doing the promos, like sometimes the brothers got to fight it out, like that type of thing. They already did this. And I wasn't a huge fan of it, but compared to this, it's like the greatest. It's like Savage Steamboat. So, they already have a precedent of shooting stuff on their farm and making it okay. And then they do this shit. So I imagine, Colin, like you're saying, the Good Brothers brothered it up. And that's why we got what we got here.
At least, though, it seemed like they brought their own camera crew for this. Because they were talking to them before they came on the property.
Right. But it's still like... it's still edited together, Like it's not just it's not like a constant shot. So it just seems like, it's like you took this footage where you got into a fight with these guys, and then, just thinking about the logistics of that, bring your camera crew back and be like, all right, let's edit this into a movie. If this was them and their crew, why wouldn't they do everything like they cut out everything that the Briscoes did and make it look like they just beat their ass the whole time?
So that's exactly what the Good Brothers would do. They'd make fun of them with it.
Right. But instead, we just get raw footage, but edited for time. So you see what I'm saying? It's like the whole thing just makes no fucking sense whatsoever. But you know what wrestling fans will say? Oh, it's just wrestling. Who cares? It's wrestling. It's supposed to be silly. It's supposed to be fun. It's wrestling. It's just wrestling, man. Don't take it too seriously, man. It's just wrestling. Eat a dick. Now we get Heath. He's pacing around, runs into Gia, with no music underneath. Heath says, Honor No More is going to have to go through hell and every one of them is going to get burned. Ooh. That's Heath saying that. That's a man with kids.
How would he say that, Vet? Every man's going to get burned. I got kids.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't say it quite like that. He tried, he did sound a little bit like that, but he was a little more fired up. Can you try doing a fired up version of what you just said?
Everybody's gonna get burned. I got kids. Damn it.
Yeah, that's closer to what.
Rhino's not here. I got kids. I'm gonna burn this place to the ground. Something like that. Everybody's gonna burn.
Right. Well, he also seemed a little bit more melancholy, because he's thinking about Rhino getting carted off, while everybody's the only thing they can think about talking about while Rhino's screaming and getting loaded in the ambulance is what kind of 10-man or 6-man tags they're going to have. So he's visibly upset remembering that from what was probably like minutes ago, but we're supposed to think it was a week ago. So
that you're the New Japan expert here. Remember that sushi farm battle in New Japan?
So you remember what I said earlier? The heckling? Like this is what he does now. It's good.
I thought though the delivery, like at one point, kind of like that quiet anger is kind of like was almost borderline psychotic a little bit.
Yeah. No, I actually. Am I making fun of this? It wasn't that bad. I mean, I know Colin has a bit with Heath, so I wanted to do that, but this wasn't. This wasn't bad. I bought it.
Got kids, man.
Yeah. Burt Macklin versus PCO. Okay, here we go. We're doing this. This was a little more violent than say the Tennille and Rosemary match, or even the chicken farm battle. By the end of this, we have PCO was bleeding from the mouth at some point. Don't know what happened. Bleeding from the head. He had this gimmick shoulder collarbone thing that looked like it was out of place or whatever, but also looked like it was something he can do on command or on purpose or something.
That's what it looked like to me too.
Because of all the phoniness afterwards made me think, okay, it's not a real injury. But he took a post and then made it look like his collarbone was out of place.
And he busted his mouth and went for the spear on the outside, got his feet caught and smacked his mouth.
Oh, okay. That's what it is, yeah. I missed the part where and I didn't want to run it back, but the head, I think he did that himself. I think that was a blade or something that he probably took a post or something too, or not a post, but maybe a chair. There was so much crap in these guys were doing. So after the ref looks at his weird shoulder and wants to stop it, he beats up everybody, including security. So we had your line, Colin.
Oh, sorry.
Security was there, and
I'm looking up something for Frank.
Guards! More guards!
Yeah, he beat them all up, and then he gets a DDT on the chair, and Macklin wins. So, they I guess they did something cool because they made it look like it was real, but they did phony wrestling after. But I mean, what else are they gonna do? It is phony wrestling, so they implemented his weird shoulder thing in a fun way, and but once again, the monster is defeated. So, how big of a monster is he really? Brandon, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought they could have got the same effect by just having it go to a non-finish. Like, they just will not stop beating the shit out of each other, whatever they find. Ref loses control. All right, match throws out and just ends them just brawling to the back and cut it from there. And neither guy gets buried. You protect the monster. You protect Macklin, who looks tough standing up to him.
Well, Macklin needs it. He needs to be rehabbed after they wasted all that work that they did with him. We got a flashback to Slammiversary 08, where Joe wins King of the Mountain. Ha ha! King of the Mountain match. What are your guys' memories of the King of the Mountain match? And why is it your favorite match of all time in TNA?
Fortunately, I didn't watch TNA a lot, so I don't remember these matches.
I remember the one where Samoa Joe handed the belt over to Kurt.
Oh, really? Well, there's been some debate because recently someone
You're being
wrote...
called out.
What? Yeah, the impact lights on?
With the flashing lights behind you.
Yeah.
What are you watching? You got like some geisha porn going on there?
No, it's just some YouTube video of somebody trying to beat one of the Elden Ring bosses or something, but it's live. So I just didn't turn it off when we started recording. But
so
what do you got in front of you? Some Talking Shop episodes that you want to email to fucking Frank?
yes.
Let's not play a game of who's doing what when they should be paying attention.
I'm not. I am wanting you to critique this guy because you've beaten the game clearly, right? You're the vet. You're the greatest Elden Ring player of all time. Much like you critique these wrestlers with their wrestling, you're watching this guy. Clearly, he's not doing that well because he's not done yet. You're not like, yeah, go get him. You're kind of like looking back like,
I'll DM you a link and you can watch it.
yes.
So anyways, Cornette was talking about, someone wrote in and asked him about the King of the Mountain match, the reverse ladder match or whatever, and he was explaining it, and he tried to lay the whole thing on Russo. However, I think he may have been mistaken because I believe that the King of the Mountain match was a Jeff Jarrett idea and concept and everything. I'm pretty sure Jeff has just explained the whole thing with Conrad that was his match.
Jeff took credit for, he said the King of the Mountain was him, and he also said the electric cage was him because he saw it in Mexico City.
Mm-hmm. So, but yes, this was the footage of the time when Samoa Joe won it in 08. They had quite a few people in that King of the Mountain match. It was interesting. I thought it was an interesting idea. It's just weird when you have to start trying to explain it to people. You know,
Right, like it's one of the things where like you just watch it, you'll see.
right? But I also don't think it's such a great idea that they really needed to go back to it as many times. I don't know how many times they did it, but once a year would have been fine. Once every 2 years would have been better, probably.
I think
You
it
know,
was
something
like
in that range.
yeah, I think it was like an annual.
Yeah,
I
but
think of all their gimmick matches, Ultimate X is probably my favorite.
Yeah, that was probably the best one they came up with.
This Man in the Mountain thing is.
yeah, it's really just a ladder match with no ladders. So, you know, but yeah, the idea for King of the Mountain, if you don't remember, was that you had so many people in it, around six or whatever. I'm sure that the rules of this match would allow that you could probably subtract or add a certain amount of people, like however many you felt like you needed. And then all the people would have their 6-way match. And then if somebody got pinned, the person that pinned the person is now eligible to take the championship belt and hang it, instead of the opposite, where a ladder match you normally go and pull the belt down. You climb up the ladder and hang the belt, and then you become the champion. So, but you're only eligible to do it after you've scored a pinfall or a submission. So, you know, that added a different layer of interest to it. And then the person that got pinned or submitted had to spend 2 minutes in the penalty box. So yeah, little hockey rules there for the hockey fans. Yeah, as I say this out loud, I realize this is a bad match, but nonetheless, Samoa Joe won it once, and that's what we're showing here. So the as the
Broke
Tasha,
He's
as
just sorry. He's just doing random shit now.
he's on his
Yeah.
he's not interested in hearing about things, so he goes to his own planet. The Tasha and Deonna alliance is tenuous at best. So Chelsea has an idea. Maybe she has an alliance with Tasha. That's her big idea. The most important thing about this for me was that there was no gimmick lights on the floor in this scene. They just had them. No, they just had them. They just had whatever lights they had, and they didn't get a chance to set up their little floodlights on the floor. So that was the important part for me. But what do you think, Brandon? Chelsea, huh? Chelsea's trying to worm her way in. What's going on here?
She's always been slimy.
Always?
How'd that work out for her with Mickey James? She's Mickey James's best friend.
That's exactly what Tasha should say next time this comes up.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, speaking of blast from the past, Matt Morgan, mayor of some town in Florida that no one's ever heard of. Matt Morgan, with Gia and no music underneath. He's just saying things about, you know, his time in TNA, and then Vincent walks up and does his very Rob Zombie. You know, not only is his gimmick that he looks like Rob Zombie, but his gimmick is that he also sounds like Rob Zombie, which is soft-spoken and, you know, like not at all intimidating. So, definitely full Rob Zombie gimmick here.
Like a hippie Rob Zombie.
Pretty much. Well, Rob Zombie.
I think Rob Zombie wears shoes, so he's Rob Zombie without shoes.
Well, nobody wears shoes now, so I don't know if he stepped on I don't know what he stepped on back there, but he wears boots now in the ring. So,
but I know they say you do comedy in threes, and you set me up for a perfect another fact or fiction, but I'm not going to do it because you want to get through this. But my fact or fiction was going to be fact or fiction.
You could do it.
You want to do it? You want to do it? Okay, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Fact or fiction time, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, that's really loud. Fact or fiction. Fact or fiction. Kane is the better mayor than Matt Morgan. Fact or fiction.
Not having followed up on any of their the stuff that happened since they've taken office, and given the fact that I've never heard of Matt Morgan City, I had to go fact.
Kane would probably win in that wrestling match too.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. Matt Morgan. Let's say this at least. Matt Morgan looks the same.
Mayor Slam Town is jobbing on AEW. He is not allowed to be in this conversation.
Right. Yeah, I don't think Johnny Elite's big enough for you, Frank, not for your specifications. I think yeah, Matt Morgan looks the same, bro. He looks like he could take that suit off and get in the ring right now. He doesn't look like he's aged hardly at all. So, and he was a young guy back then. I remember when I first came to OVW, he was the champion at the time, and he was under a mask. Like I think they had done some storyline where Matt Morgan had to leave OVW, and but he came back as the blueprint with the hood on. And I missed the first part of the storyline, so I just see this giant guy wearing a blue mask, and I'm like, "Is that Matt Morgan?" Like I didn't get that. I had to piece that together later, but I mean, yeah, he just, you look at a guy like that and you go, how do you miss with a guy like that? And that's because that was that time in that mid 2000s range where the WWE was not interested at all in doing anything but making everybody miserable. That's all they wanted to do, is make people miserable. Even more so than now, if you can believe that. They really had no talent, and the young talent that was coming up wasn't great, but they were all very, very backstabby. So you had a lot of slightly talented people who were more talented at politicking, and the politicking got them nowhere because it was all done at the low levels. So it was pretty pathetic. And Matt Morgan just became a victim of that. But, he had a decent run in TNA, I guess, and now he's doing well for himself, and he stepped away from wrestling entirely, I believe. So
that's fact that Kane is the better mayor. Fiction that Kane would take the mayor wrestling match.
I think so.
Gotcha. Brandon, fact or fiction? Kane the better mayor, and Kane would win in this wrestling match.
Fact that Kane's the better mayor. In fact, I'd love to see him be the president someday.
Oh wow!
Isaac
Yankem in the White House.
As far as the wrestling match goes, I don't know. I saw that picture of him after the DDP yoga. I'd probably give it to Morgan. He's got the age factor.
Wow, our panelists are lining up with their facts and their fictions today, ladies and gentlemen. That's been the final edition of Fact or Fiction on this Impact Attack, ladies and gentlemen.
Fact or fiction to that?
Yeah, God,
fiction.
That's probably fact. As long as Vet doesn't throw up another one that's even like relevant to what we're talking about.
You never know.
You never know.
We still got half a show left.
Throw me those softballs.
All right. So, any thoughts on Matt Morgan overall, or anything that happened here in this thing where he gets interrupted by Vince?
Nah, just to kind of highlight the 20 years of Impact.
Okay.
Maybe put a little bit of heat on Honor No More because they're feuding with Impact.
Yeah, just a little bit. Even though he's barking up a tree that he can't climb because Morgan's not coming back, unless he is. All right. Anyway, so we got Joe Doring versus Josh Alexander. Battle of the champion versus unpinned and submitted guy, as Colin steps out for a moment. Yeah, so I guess this was one of those what's going to happen here type deals, because of Joe Doring's unbeaten streak since he's been in Impact. And it turns out that will continue, because at whatever point Josh grabs the Violent by Design flag and whacks Doring with it, causing a DQ. So not only is he still unpinned and submitted, he actually has a victory now over Josh Alexander, the champion. So he'll be able to claim that title shot. Going by pro wrestling logic, a win is a win, and he deserves a title shot. Right? Isn't that how that works?
Usually, but we'll see. I like though how the finish. It was weird. Like this is the second finish tonight that it kind of fit the storyline perfectly and made sense with what they were doing. Where there's nothing really on the line, so why would Alexander care about winning the match if there was really nothing that was at stake? He's got all three guys in outside, so it's basically get in, get out. without getting hurt as little as possible.
Right. And we all know he has no friends and no one would help him. So, yeah, but you're right. I think that's important to consider when you're putting together things like this, where it's like a guy against a group. And you really have to look at those type of things. Like, well, I mean, whatever, if I get DQ'd, I'll take some of these guys with me. I'm still keeping my championship, you know. It's more of a heel way to think, but if you put people in certain situations, they can make it work. So, not the worst booking they've ever done.
One of those things where it's like, what would any human do in that situation?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, Colin's back for the people that are listening on audio only. And
I will question though the structure of the show. Like, why wasn't this match swapped with the 6-man tag that main evented?
Probably. I think it's probably just because. Well, I'll explain when we get to the 6-man tag why I think they put that one last. But that future reason will be the reason.
Well, like so this like followed that Matt Morgan segment. This could have been, you know, a nice spot for, like, they could have done a thing where it did the spot with Heath, and then before they do any more, Matt Morgan runs out with his own weapon, chases him off, or with him, or he runs out with he runs out with a weapon, and then him and Kazarian and the Machine Guns run off on her no more.
Well, they could have done that, but for whatever reason they didn't want to, because if they did, they could have done that in the middle too. They just didn't do it. So that makes me, you know, wonder, is Matt Morgan really just showing up just to show his face, and he's not going to get involved with any of this stuff, like, because he doesn't want to? I don't know. Don't know.
I mean, well, he wouldn't have to, but it would just, like, you know, he's there, and it would make sense that he'd get involved after that altercation with them or with Vincent.
I get it, man. You wanted Matt Morgan to do a run-in. I get it. I agree. It could have been fine. They just didn't do it. I don't know why they didn't do it, but and you know, there's lots of things they could do every week with the order of their show to make it better that they don't do, that I don't know why they don't do. And I guess this was just one of those things. But we'll get to that, the ending, and then we'll see what would have been better. For right now, we're going to get Gia. She's going to knock on Moose's door. He's got, you can tell it's his door because there's a little plaque to the side of it that has his logo. It says Moose, and it's got the horns.
There's always a placard to the side of it.
Yep.
Unless you're the Miz.
I guess they just bring those. They have plaques of everyone's name in the truck, and then whenever they pull up to whatever arena they're at, they grab, okay, which plaques do we need? Let's put them on these doors here.
We're shooting the Moose locker room scene. Put the Moose plaque up. There we go.
That's right. You know, so she's talking to Moose and asking him, like, Sami Callihan says he's gonna kill you and, you know, skin you alive. What are you gonna do about this? And then, you know, he says what he says, and then the lights go out or some shit, and then it's like, but what I saw here was, I saw them and their lights, the impact lights. Okay, now what they did here was they stuck the light in between these, like, two wooden doors, one of which was Moose's locker room, okay? And they shine the light up in this little brick wall area. So it actually, it was the width, the bricks were like the width of the beam of light. So it looks like the walls are really that color, which is what the effect they're going for with these stupid lights is all the time. Like, they want to make you think that these walls are green or pink or purple or whatever. And this one almost looked like a natural, like it was a naturally purple brick here, the way they did it. But I see what you guys are doing. You can't slip this one past me. You stuck a purple light in this scene, guys. And remember, you've been warned, and you have until after Slammiversary. After Slammiversary, the gloves are off. So you better fucking watch it. And this isn't even the last time we'll see this. This is just the one that they tried to get slick and hide it from me to see if I was paying attention. I'm paying attention. Don't you worry about that. But yeah. So Gia and Moose interview. What do you think?
What I got from this is all it takes is flickering the lights to get Moose to go from "he doesn't bother me" to "I'm gonna end this."
Yes. Which it should. Let's please end this. All All right, now we get some footage courtesy of New Japan and TV Asahi of Ace joining the Bullet Club in the Best of Super Juniors. We get to see the actual footage, including the part where this is so funny. I didn't know how to bring it up to you guys to bring the subject up of what happened because it was too crazy to explain, and I just didn't want to bring it up on the show. But during one of the backstage interviews, when Ace is celebrating joining the Bullet Club, Alex Zane walks in and is like, "What the fuck, man?" Like he doesn't believe that his friend has turned on him and joined the Bullet Club. And then Jay White walks in and he's like, "Oh, what's the problem here?" And then they eventually all beat the shit, or like they're all talking like Zane's like, if you want to get me out of here, someone's gonna have to fucking make me leave. And he's using this language, right? Because it's New Japan and you can say that, right? So Ace gets his retractable cane, his extendable cane, and hits Alex Zane in the back.
Gambit.
Alex Zane falls down. The entire Bullet Club starts kicking him. And El Phantasmo's standing there while they're all kicking him. And I guess Alex Zane had come in there like with no shoes on. And he's like, he reaches down while everybody's kicking him and like takes the socks off of Alex Zane's feet. And then you hear like Gallows or somebody in the background like, "Yeah, take his fucking socks." To the point where at Dominion, his light up jacket, which he can change there's like a digital board on the back that he can change to say different things. And his digital board, Dominion on Sunday said "sock thief." El Phantasmo says "sock thief" on there. So yes, for whatever reason, he stole Alex Zane's socks in the beatdown, and they showed this. I'm glad they showed this clip so you guys can see what I'm talking about, so you don't have to imagine what I'm saying. Brandon, you saw them steal the socks. Now you know. This was hilarious, but it also means that this sockless fool is getting into Ultimate X at Slammiversary. So we're gonna have two former friends colliding in the midst of a 6-person ladder match with no ladders.
There needs to be a spot. There needs to be a spot in the match he gets his socks back.
Gotta. Yeah. So I don't know. That was pretty funny, but good use of the New Japan footage there. Obviously they bleeped out everything that the guys were saying, but if you watch the New Japan broadcast, like on the New Japan World app and stuff, there's no censoring, because in Japan, those, English swear words don't mean anything. So they say whatever the hell they want. And if that's, if you're one of those people that thinks the Attitude was only good because of swearing, then you might want to give New Japan a shot.
And the
I'll appeal to you in any level it takes.
And the puppies.
Oh, yeah. Miho Abe was there. Good old Miho Abe. She made her return. So, yeah.
We don't talk about Miho. that's a little...
So now...
Yeah, where was Chris Bay?
He doesn't go to Japan, apparently.
No, well, he wasn't even here either. So, he wasn't even holding it down for... He must have some other indie bookings he had to fulfill.
You know what I like to see? I like to see kind of like him and Ace Austin kind of have that little tension for the X Division guy, and eventually Chris Bay's the one who gets the boot and turns face.
That would be good, because he's got natural charisma to be a really good babyface.
He does. He really does.
Yeah. He could be like that. I mean, not to say like Kofi, but he could have a baby run like Kofi.
You don't want to say it's like Kofi, huh?
Like Kofi, but it's like Kofi.
Just because he's exactly like Kofi Kingston in every conceivable way, don't say he's like that. Or they could become a team and do something with this stagnant tag team division, because damn it. But anyway.
The Good Brothers really going to be around all that much, too? Because then you could have that Bullet Club tag team representation, and the Good Brothers can do whatever they're doing. Because apparently, Carl Anderson, Neverweight Open champion, was sandbagging. He didn't really say he was sandbagging in TNA, but, I perform a certain way in front of 200, 300 people when they're in the stadium compared to 5,000 people in the stadium. That shows you what he might be doing at Impact tapings compared to what he's doing in the Tokyo Dome.
It's the same. He's just saying that because
How many chin locks did he put Ishii in?
It was Tama Tonga, first of
Oh,
all.
Tonga? Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
And I think one or maybe two.
That was like the final one he put him in. Or he put the stun
that
gun
ended
on.
it.
Gun stun.
Yeah. The reverse chin lock. The reverse falling chin lock, which he calls the gun stun.
I use that so much in WWE 2K22 as my signature.
What, the gun stun?
No, the reverse chin lock.
Oh, okay. All right. So Moose is now looking for Sami, like he said he was going to do. He's going to end this. And then this turns into a cinematic brawl with music underneath. And I hated it because of the things that just came out of my mouth.
Can you do that more like how many snaps?
How many
you
snaps?
Have? Yeah, like the In Living Color cinema guys. Did you just hate it or did you hate it?
Hated it. No snaps, no twist, no kiss. You can touch this. It's terrible. It's just terrible. But I mean, what do you expect? Like everything Callahan's involved with for the most part is just, it's like the idea's there, but somehow the execution doesn't come off. Like he's got the hacker gimmick, but like I said at the beginning, like Impact is taped, so we're supposed to think he's hacking into a tape, because they're not just that he took it over to insert footage or whatever, but that he's doing it live as it's happening. And it just doesn't work that way. You can't do that.
Did you feel that same way about him with Solomon Crow?
Yes. Yes, because he's using in Solomon Crow he was like doing the same kind of thing, but the effects was like if you were using 80s antenna TV with like static and stuff, like in the digital age that doesn't really happen. You don't have static per se. It's different now. So it's either scrambled and no signal, like, you know what I mean? Like there's no snow or anything like that.
It's black because the digital signals, it's not analog anymore. So you either get the channel or you don't get the channel anymore.
Right.
There's no channel 98 where we could barely see a titty.
Right. So that's why it's like, okay, you have the idea this could be something, but instead, like, you're doing it wrong. And that's kind of
doing it wrong.
Yeah. So I didn't like this. And then, of course, you have the whole, like, they're locked in the room. Somehow the rooms are locked. And then Sami has the key. He's the only one with the key. But he locks Moose in there and the cameraman with him. This is very SmackDown-esque, where people are getting locked in rooms with cameramen. It's, extremely SmackDown. So for many reasons, I do not like this. But maybe I'm in the minority. What does everyone else think?
Nah, it was no bueno. I mean, did we really need a second cinematic like segment on the show? And it could have, when a regular just backstage brawl could have sufficed, like have them just fight outside and just end it there.
Brendan, you knew the answer to that question before you even asked it. You knew what Scott D'Amore's in there like, yeah, we're going to do this tonight. It's going to be awesome.
I did like the spot, though, with the key in the eye, because that's exactly how Sami should be fighting Moose, like dirty and just scrappy.
Yeah. Of course, when you key somebody in the eye, I expect there to be damage, and there's not going to be any damage, so,
He didn't pickaxe him in the eye.
Right. Ay, cabrón. So there you go. That was that. You're making, well, you're not doing anything to how I feel about Moose, other than you're just adding to my sympathy for Moose. Like not in the good storytelling way, in the real life way. Yeah.
Like, why is he in this crap?
Exactly. This was your champion, and actually his championship run was full of stuff like this too. So, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, let's go to a video with Matt Cardona. Okay.
He's always ready.
He's always ready, except when he tears his bicep.
Ooh.
And then he bequeaths his digital media championship to Brian Myers, which it's not his. Let's all remind everyone that it is Rich Swann is the champion.
My brother's a lawyer, and he'll tell you possession's 9/10 of the law.
No lawyer would ever say that.
Technically, it's Matt Cardona's title.
I think the law would tell you that 10/10 is the correct amount of possession. So in any case, this is the part that's weird for me, besides all this. Because this is fine. Like, heel steals the belt, keeps the belt, whatever it is. Heel gives the belt to his friend or whatever. Heelish, very fine. Like, everything's fine up to now. But then, Brian Myers, now remember, this is the guy that ran away from getting put through a table for however many, weeks. And then, when the time came, he just gets up in Morrissey's face like a hero and challenges him. Yep. Liz is right. She would know. Yeah, so that's this guy. And here he is now with Rich Swann saying he's the champion. He's like, well, why don't we sort this out for the Digital Media Championship at Slammiversary? So the heel who has been gifted a stolen belt is challenging the babyface to see who's the true champion. I'm sorry, are we in complete bizarro world here?
No, you should be totally just like doing the cocky duck of, oh, we've already beat you, get to the back of the line shit.
Right. And there's another show before Slammiversary. So that's plenty of time for you to make this video where Brian Myers, just brags about being the digital media champion. And then next week, Rich Swann is like either saying something himself or talking to Scott D'Amore. Like, is this man really going to sit there with my championship and just have it? Or are we going to do something at Slammiversary? And then that is as easy as you need. You got one more show. Just do it like that. Why is Myers challenging people? Why does he think he's tough? You know what I mean? He's not tough, first of all, in life or in wrestling. And
he is the most professional, though.
You're right. I apologize.
And that's why he knows better than you. And that's why they did this. That's why they did this. That's why he did the heel challenge you to the match, because it's the most professional way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
I was speaking out of line.
Even Frank says, great point.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not even heckling this time.
Yeah. He might be. You never know. If he's talking about you.
It's okay.
But yeah. All right. Well, now we get.
While he's giving his title away to Brian Myers, Trevor Murdoch is also winning the NWA championship after retiring Damian Sandow. So 2-time NWA champion, which is kind of ridiculous because, and not to have a non sequitur from part of the show, but with Always Ready, Matt Cardona, it kind of is a sequitur with this because Aaron retires. I think all three of us sitting here could arguably say he would have had a great run as a world champion in any company. And one of the things that he says in his, his kind of farewell speech, and you never know, he might not really be retiring, is, how he had this career. He wanted to go and take that world championship and lay it across Kowalski's grave and tell him that, we did it. Like, it was a very impassionate speech, which Sandow's always been great on the mic. But, it's kind of a travesty that no one would have put this belt on him. It's kind of ridiculous. The things that he would have done as the intellectual savior with the belt on him back in those times, it would have been great.
Well, we know why nobody in the WWE did it, but I don't know what the NWA's reasoning is for not doing more with him. So that's something that they'll have to sort out.
It could be backstage stuff, because I know Aaron helps out with the Hollywood Championship Wrestling stuff, and that's Marquez territory. And Marquez was helping out with the NWA, and then they kind of had beef, so it could be seen as hey, you're working with them behind the scenes. We'll just fuck with you over here.
Yep. Shouldn't do that. I mean, not if you want or expect certain things.
That's just speculation.
Yeah. But I mean, this is something that seems like mild speculation, but that could be the entire reason.
Of course.
So
I've listened to HMG long enough to know from Stevie and Ben
Right.
kind of what goes on behind the scenes. I mean, over church.
Yeah,
TNA for
worse.
crying out
Yeah.
loud.
Over
Hey,
church.
Suge. Under church is over there, Suge. You go ahead, Stevie. With your cute short shorts on.
Right. Well, in any case, yeah, that's gonna really get people interested in NWA to have fucking Trevor Murdoch back on top. So the on top of this show, we have Honor No More versus Frankie and the Guns. Not necessarily what I think about main event material. As Brandon pointed out, it's just more middle of the card material to me. But it's Colin.
That I know you have a reason for why this was the main event, but the whole reason why this was the main event is because the fucking goddamn Goldberg of Impact Wrestling is in this match.
Funny that you should say that.
And when he is in this match, he is the main event of this match. You give Impact's Goldberg the fucking respect he deserves.
Funny. So funny. He doesn't even know how funny it is, Brandon, how funny what he just said is, right? He has no idea. My first thought when I see this is I ain't watching this shit. Like this is where I can just clip the program and cut it short and I don't have to watch the finish and I can let you guys take over on the show when I do it. But then I was like, well, I always say that kind of stuff. Let me just actually pay attention to it. And I immediately regretted paying attention to it because it's exactly what I thought it was going to be, which is why I wanted to turn it off and not watch it. So they proved me right. And it's just a bunch of guys doing stuff in the ring for like 15 minutes. And the referee's just like, I don't know. and then the ultimate insult after all this, after I watch all this shit that these guys do, flipping around and running and doing shit, Sabin gets pinned here. That's right. Of all the guys that you could have pinned Shelly. You could have pinned Frankie, although I can understand why you might not want to do that. I don't see why you pinned the Ultimate Warrior, the Goldberg. I just don't. The Jade Cargill. I don't know why you would pin that guy of all the people in a 6-man. I don't get it. Because it's not even about who wins the match. The whole reason that I said that this was at the end of the show is because they wanted to go off finishing up with the Heath story and then getting Heath. Because Heath comes in and tries to start cleaning house. But there's a lot more Honor No More guys than there is one Heath. And Heath ends up getting fucking crippled in the match. They break his leg or whatever with the chair. They Pillmanize him. All this shit. All right, cut that shit off before you'll get struck down.
You won't get struck down. You can barely hear it.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm playing.
They know what they're playing.
We're
gonna get struck down. So, anyways, my whole thing is, they want to go off the air with heat for Honor No More. That's why they wanted to do it for whatever reason. For whatever reason, they didn't want, to go off the heat. Or go off the air with heat for Violent by Design because they've done that enough leading up to, Eric Young's title match and stuff. Like they can do that next week when, it's the go home, right? So that's just their thoughts on it. Not saying I agree, but they wanted Honor No More to finally look like they did something for once and go off the air with some heat on them and Heath getting, tragically crippled. And no one making the save, by the way, even though, earlier we had, some security, we saw that, but not here. Maybe they were all trying to get Moose out of the locked room and could not do anything about Heath Slater. So that's why I think they ended it, because they just wanted heat on Honor No More instead of Violent by Design. They'll probably put heat on Violent by Design next week. If I had to guess, it's going to be Eric Young standing tall at the end of next week's episode, or this week's episode, whatever you want to say it. So there you go.
That I got an exclusive interview with Chris Sabin after this match. I asked him why he took the pin, and he simply said,
I love this match.
So I mean, there you heard it. You heard it from Chris Sabin's mouth first. He loved that match so much.
I guess he's a team player after all. I mean, he's not booking himself. I'm sure he would have happily done some jobs here and there.
What way to get Honor No More over than to have them pin Chris Sabin, who pinned Moose, who is the wrestling god?
Honor No More's on top now. It undid all the boring booking they've done up till now. It's
wrestling
perfect
gods?
now. Mm-hmm. All of them, every one of them.
Like the Highlander?
Yeah.
You beat a wrestling god, you become a wrestling god?
Yep. Cut his head off, yep.
Oh, you got to cut his head off?
That's how the Highlander thing works.
Oh, well, Moose still has his head.
Maybe in wrestling you just have to pin a guy.
Oh, okay. Okay. That works. Well,
there can be only one man that has his shoulders off the mat for 3 seconds.
Can be only one.
Well, what about multi-man matches? Does everybody have to like lay down while the one man has his like shoulders up? Why is everyone laying down while he's pinning? Well, Bob, the rule in this mountain man match is everyone has to have their shoulders down except for one man to get the pin.
That could have been something that Aaron Stevens had done, when he was the stunt double.
Here with our 16-sided ring, everyone lays down when someone gets pinned. That's all we need. Gaggles the Gimp is your new NWA champion, ladies and gentlemen. It's only time before that happens. Vet, anything else on this episode of Impact?
No, this was just another one of those limbo episodes where we don't have it leading into anything. It's just sitting here, and it's not the go home, and it's not the show after a pay-per-view. So it's just one of these in the middle that's kind of like treading water, and I don't really think anything on this show was worth checking out if you missed it, at least not in a good way. There may be a couple things you want to see how bad they are, or you could see that clip where Alex Zane got his socks stolen. But then again, you could get that if you're already subscribed to New Japan World. So everybody, take your 999 yen and sign up for New Japan World. Also, in that vein, and which has Impact implications probably since the Bullet Club has infiltrated Impact Wrestling, Jay White toppled the Rainmaker on Sunday and became the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
2-time.
Which was a shock to me.
It's a shock to me, and I don't watch New Japan.
Not that he would win, but that he wins now at this time with everything going on with the AEW and everything, and they're already laying out the matches for, Hangman Page and Okada supposedly supposed to have a match. Now, what does this mean? Does this mean
Hangman's going over, bro?
Does this mean there's not a chance Hangman would go over? So I don't really see what the point is of doing that. So that would be $9,000 a month in Frank's money.
Vet
999 yen, which is like $10, much more affordable.
Vet. Well, before we get out of here, I haven't really listened to a lot of the NXT shows, so I don't know if you've talked about this. But how dare you beat Elden Ring, and you don't even tell me? I found out from Bobo coming into the A Show chat and being like, "Hey, he beat Elden Ring," and I was like, "Oh yay!" So I'm just hurt because I had to hide the hurt while I was live on air with the beautiful and talented and extremely intelligent April Hunter.
I'm sure you could get over it. Maybe you're hurt about it. Me not telling you. I could have been supposedly hurt that I didn't have your support while I was doing it, so we'll call it even.
I would have been there supporting you. We would have raided your channel.
It was
An
live.
A-show raid.
Well, I wasn't on at the same time as you, but what I'm saying is,
I
had
don't
you
get
hit that,
notifications.
had you hit that notification bell on Twitch, you would have known that I was streaming, and you could have seen it live with everyone else. You know what? You know what's funny about it too, Colin, is people are in there watching, like Buckshot Kid, and I think Sonic the Hedge Rat was there at the time or whatever. But when I actually did it, no one was paying any attention. They were off doing other things. So like, I thought no one saw it, and I'm like, you guys see that? You know, it took me 5 hours. So
Apparently, you look like Baron Corbin when you lean back.
he knows that strikes a chord. That's again, master heckler. He knows how much I hate Baron Corbin.
Brandon, we didn't do the gimmick the whole show. Overall, how many tugs do you give the show?
I'd say I'd give it about three tugs, which is about 3 more than their mom gave me the other night.
Oh man, she owes you a refund. Then if she only gave you 3 tugs. So the 7 tugs, 7.5 for Tennille and Rosemary, but the overall show just gets a 3. Wow. That's some heavy weight there down at the bottom.
There was a lot of negative tugs during the show.
Yeah, you weren't tugging your balls too much there. This show didn't even get Brandon off. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Brandon, the chat.
I had to go to Scott Demore's mom. Made her squirt so hard, just went across the room, killed my Siamese fighting fish, threw off the pH levels in my aquarium.
That's terrible. You don't want to throw off your pH balance in the aquarium. You just can't do that. Now, Brandon, Frank's worried that you don't have any pillows. They got to get you some pillows, and they're going to get you some My Pillows.
They're there. They're the white things back there.
Lizbeth, secretly, she's been thinking the same thing. So these people are staring at your background hard and looking at everything you got. The feds are watching, Brandon, just to let you know. Yes, I just called Lizbeth a fed. Let's see. Heath Slater has kids, and he can't buy pillows. I guess that's it. Brandon, anything else that you got for us tonight?
I think that about does it. You can find me at all the usual places at Miss Tia the Transarchist and every Monday night here with these two gentlemen on the Impact Attack. Favorite place to be where you want to be on a Monday night heading into your Tuesday.
That's right. 2 and 2 here. Vet, did you get your shit over? Everybody knows that opinion have it everywhere.
They should, but they still ask sometimes. So just in case, if you ever want to see a guy beat Elden Ring, or if you want to see the highlight clip of it, so you don't have to watch the whole 5-hour thing, then you can go to twitch.tv/opinionhaver. Yes, it's not just for social medias. I think that's the thing people don't get. Like when I say opinion haver, maybe they assume it's just for like social media things.
Because that's where you would have opinions.
Yeah, it's for everything. You know, it's on PlayStation Network. It'd be on Xbox Live if I still used it. So that's what I use for all of my. I am branded.
That's his. Even his ICQ. You know, it was a number, but Vet was so special. It was opinion haver.
Yeah, it's always opinion haver. So check that out. And this Friday, yep. I mean, I don't know what's going to show up there, but you could type it in. I'm sure somebody's got it.
It's even opinion haver on Grindr.
Yep. Sure enough. Check it out. Just everybody go to Grindr and follow Opinion Haver.
Swipe right.
Yeah. See what happens.
Opinion haver.
That's right. But anyway, on Friday, and Colin, you can get in on this action too. Friday, there will be the release of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge for all platforms. So with 6-player co-op, anybody that's got a PlayStation or whatever, looking for partners. Casey Jones is playable, so is April O'Neil and Splinter. So it's gonna be a good time, and that's what I'll be doing on Friday. So if you want to check that out, please stop by and hang out. Would love to have you.
We'll see how things
But,
go in the market because I might have to grab that and play it with you.
Jesus, this man needs the stock to be a certain way to afford $25, and he's gonna sit here and talk about like how everybody needs to be doing this. This is pathetic. Anyways,
I got kids, bro. I'm like Heath Slater.
$25.
I've got, dude, $185 a week for summer camp.
I know. What I'm saying is, if your stocks depend on if you can afford that, you need to take all your money out of that, cash it in, and start acting like a normal person. All right.
It's money that I don't need that I can just be like, all right, I'm gonna sell this and use this $25 to buy a game. Come on, vet.
You hear this guy? Do you guys all hear this guy? Jeez. All right. Anyways, yeah. If you can find it in your heart, or you can find the $25, which I can't. Oh, look at this.
I was a billionaire. Damn it.
The screenshot.
Should have cashed out.
Just a fucking billionaire.
Did you see my tweet where they made a mistake on the PlayStation Store and Mr. Driller cost $10,000?
Whoever bought it, he'd have been a billionaire. Should have cashed out. Save money, get Brandon's old camera. That's how I'll get over.
That's what you gotta do.
I'll get the see Brandon, your Gaussian blur that you had on your camera was like perfect. Everybody loves a good Gaussian blur on the background, and you just had a natural Gaussian blur with your camera. It was beautiful. $25. It's only a gallon of gas. Like 60, but that too.
And you won't need the gallon of gas because you'll be at home playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I drive 40 minutes to work, and that's one way. So I'm dropping like $60 in gas like every other day.
What are you trying to make yourself sound sympathetic here? Because you're too dumb to work closer to where you live?
I can't work closer to where I live.
Because you're too dumb?
It's where they're buying the stores. No, I'm getting paid, son. Getting paid.
Or are you? Because you can't afford $25.
It's called budgeting, sir. It's being smart with your money. I'm sorry. Sorry, we can't all.
If that's where you
cut
the budget, if that's where you cut the budget, then it's time to re-examine your entire life.
Invest in cannabis.
I'm going to buy all Berserk paperback sets now. That's all I'm going to invest my money in. No more
They
stocks.
come out in hardcover. Why wouldn't you get the hardcover?
I like the soft backs.
That's what I heard. You can also find me every Wednesday morning at Next Level Wrestling Review with Big Ray Hernandez. Those are the two places you can be sure to find me, here and there. And then you can also check every once in a while on the Smack Attack, because I had to fill in for MacGyver this past week. And John and I talked about a lot of fun stuff regarding WWE, the state of it, the show. SmackDown actually had a good show. Not a good show, good compared to what they've been doing. And all they had to do was just put on a few matches instead of having, all the stupid cartoony bullshit that they usually do. So, who knew?
Cartoony bullshit. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, you can find me tomorrow evening, today. Vet, it's still tomorrow for you? Yep, it's still Monday. So
yes, it is tomorrow, Monday.
It is still Monday. Yeah, it's still yesterday is what I meant. So it's Monday for the vet. It's Tuesday for everybody else. But you can always still catch the A show at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with myself and, as I said earlier, the beautiful, the talented, the uber intelligent April Hunter. And we're gonna talk. We're talking sex, baby.
Whoa.
We're talking about you and me. We're talking about yeah, so she wants to talk tantra, sex, and all kinds of other things. So I guess that's where we're gonna hop down. So bring your lube and give your balls a tug, for it's gonna be a fun episode. And then she's gonna shake her titties for you. She'll probably shake them a couple times throughout the episode. And she pecks. She does the peck twitch. Vet, can you still twitch your pecs?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can. You got that.
You're not gonna be able to see it though, because I'm black T-shirt on black background. But
what
yes.
are you DMing me things during the show, Vet? How dare you? How dare you pay attention?
You were so
attention during the show.
You were so curious about it. I just thought I'd throw it in there.
Thank you, sir. Buckshot Kid says, I have kids, no sex for me. Enjoy the AC. Yes, I'm here in the South where it's a heat wave, but I think it's in Ohio in that area too for Lisbeth. But it's supposed to be like 105 degrees tomorrow. Like ridiculous.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's gonna be humid. So like my balls are gonna stick to my leg as soon as I go outside. Like I'm gonna open the door and I'm gonna start dripping sweat.
My
Because
balls
the
is hot.
humidity. My balls is
understand.
hot. Yeah, I don't have that Derek Lewis drop. That's Ray's. And then of course, I said Big Ray's name. If I say it like 3 more times, he'll come in like Candyman, and we don't want that. French Spider-Man might join him. But 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Wednesday, with Big Ray Hernandez for the Ridiculously Random podcast. Which Vet, you should come on for this one because it's top 5 rappers.
There's only one
Top
answer.
5 rappers. Wu-Tang, because they have more than 5 rappers, and you just plug them in.
It's just no. It's just they're all Dylon. You know that.
It's all Dylon. Exactly.
That's a waste of a week.
Main roster.
Buckshot Kid called for it, and we hadn't played it all.
Oh.
All show.
Ay, cabrón. Oh.
All right. Well, I don't think we have anything else to talk about this evening, guys. So for Opinion Haver 2 times and give your balls a tug, I am Colin Wysong, and we will see you next week here at the Impact Attack on channelattitude.com in the Hameen Media Group. Take it easy. Like I said, we'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.